Yeah, the Super Eagles of Nigeria are begging Nigerians not to lose faith in the team after another disappointing encounter at the MKO Abiola National Stadium in Abuja last Friday. And of course, while the Super Eagles of Nigeria were fortunate, of course, a day before that, the Black Stars of Ghana, better late than never, they left it late, but they did the job over Angola. So it's been a mixed fortune for the two countries right there. On that note, I welcome you to Niger Super Fans Forum. My name remains Ashalolu Afemi. Today, we'll be taking a look at the two games, and of course, we look ahead to the fixtures of the continent today, particularly Nigeria and Ghana. Of course, there are two key top fixtures awaiting both sides. Finally, have been able to find James Agberebi somewhere around the earth, and he's on the show today. James Agberebi, you are welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Femi. It's been
I,
a
I
while.
think, yeah. So I think
It's
you
been
owe
a
our
while.
fans an explanation where you've been.
Yeah, they won't
So I
understand, but
told them it's been
it's
work,
all good.
though. I told them it's been work.
Yes, yeah. So it's good to be back again on the show. So without much, without further ado, let's just get the
Okay.
show started. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the explanation, right? All right, we accept.
They will understand.
Okay, a
I
lot.
trust them. They will understand.
Okay, James, a lot of Nigerians are beginning to believe that the Abuja National Stadium is jinxed. I remember what happened last year in the 2022 FIFA World Cup playoff against the Black Stars of Ghana. But that is not even the crux of the matter. Yesterday at the pre-match press conference in the second leg in Bissau today, Jose Peseiro, the head coach, was saying that he ruled the missed chances by his team, and he said Nigeria had a good game, but just failed to actually get the ball at the back of the net. James, and he's been charging his team to actually be clinical today. James, it's not going to be as easy as he has said it.
That for me is going to be a very difficult game. When they play the first leg, we all rooted for the Super Eagles and believed that they will get the victory. Especially playing at home and playing against Guinea-Bissau. I mean, you know that when it comes to football, Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau, the gulf is this wide. But the way football is, you never can predict. Nobody expected them to come out with the victory. Even when they scored first, there was this confidence that the Super Eagles would bounce back, but they toyed, and at the end of the day, Guinea-Bissau went home with the victory. Well, today's game is going to be a very difficult encounter, because beating the Super Eagles in the first leg, we give the Guinea-Bissau players that confidence, and they will be playing in front of their fans. So it's now left for the Super Eagles to make sure all those chances that they missed in the first leg, they'll be able to put away anyone that comes their way today. Because this is a crucial game. Because Sierra Leone defeated Sao Tome and Principe 2-0,
Two
and
nil,
they're
yeah.
just yes, and they're just a point behind the
The
Super
point
Eagles,
behind
and just
Nigeria,
two
yeah.
points behind leaders Guinea-Bissau. So the Super Eagles have their work cut out, and I want to believe this coaching crew that watch the game again and know where the problem in the first leg where it came from. So it's about putting the ball in the back of the net. I remember the qualifiers for the 2018 2022 World Cup when Nigeria lost to the Central African Republic at the Teslim Balogun Stadium. In the reverse fixture, they won. The Super Eagles won 2-0. So let's just hope that they'll be able to be motivated. Use that as a good motivation to go into this game and get the 3 points, because it's very important that they win this game, because just like we thought it's going to be so easy for them, but I think they are making life kind of hard for themselves now, especially losing at home. So I think they would have learned from their mistakes, and they would not want to underrate this Guinea-Bissau team, who have shown that they're a good side and they can hurt you if you don't take your chances against them.
Okay, James, I think this Super Eagles team reminds me of a setup that has all the stars, but they do not really have a team. I remember the coach of the Guinea-Bissau side said it after the game that big names do not play football, and he's been boastful that he's going to beat Nigeria again. James, we have in this squad we have 8 players, 8 forward who are like attackers, but we couldn't get a goal in Abuja. So should we be even losing any hope of getting something in Bissau?
Yeah, I think that will be answered by the coach, Jose Peseiro, because I was surprised that he didn't even start. He
Terry
didn't even
Murphy.
bring on Terry Murphy, somebody who has been doing well. Though he just joined this, but I think he has found his scoring boot. I was
Yeah.
surprised that he didn't even decide. He decided not to use him against Guinea-Bissau. Instead, he brought in
I was going to ask you
Paul
about
Enuachu.
selection also.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
selection was another issue in that day. I mean, he now brought in Ahmed Musa. So when he came in, I didn't really see any impact. So I don't know. Sometimes the selection of the coach, he baffles one. You begin to imagine, you begin to wonder what's really happening. So for me, he just has to uh, come up with a different lineup because you can't afford to drop points again. Because we'll be looking at it like, oh, the group it's easy. I mean, like, they are already making it hard for themselves. I hope we not get to a point where we start using calculator. 'Cause I can't remember the last time we used calculator. So for me, I really the most important thing is for the forwards to put away chances because that was the problem in the first leg in Abuja. They were getting chances, but at the end of the day, they couldn't just put anyone away. The only clear chance that Guinea-Bissau had, and they scored from it, and that was it. So I mean, I think the defeat in the first leg should serve as a blessing in disguise because now they know that they have their work cut out. It's not a team that they can just overrun. They too they want to come out and play, and now that they're playing at home, I mean, just imagine the kind of confidence, the boost in the players. So it's now left for the Super Eagles coaching crew and the players. I mean, what better way to be motivated? They don't even need extra motivation. They know they just have to go there and get the job done.
Okay, so James, before we go to Ghana, the good news coming from Bissau is that Balde, the guy who got the goal for Guinea-Bissau, sat out of training yesterday. So I think it would do the Super Eagles a lot of good if that guy doesn't play today. Honestly, I must confess because he gave the defenders the tough time. But James, really, I think my question will still be on the attack and the defense. And this is the last question on the
Yeah.
Super Eagles before we'll go to
Mm.
Ghana. Now, if you have the likes of Samuel Chukwueze, who has a double figure of goals and assists for Villarreal. You have Victor Osimhen, 25 goals in 29 matches. You have Kelechi Iheanacho. You have Ademola Lookman,
Ademola
and you have
Lookman,
this. Yeah,
Tere Murphy.
you have this area of attack, and you still couldn't get goal. James, if this game in Busau today doesn't go Nigeria way, should we begin to talk about sacking Jose Peseiro? Because
For me,
that's the question in a lot of lives of Nigerians.
sometimes you want to always put the blame on the coach. So sometimes you just want to give the players this easy way out. Sometimes I look at it that these guys are not really giving their all. Aside from say, let me say Victor Osimhen, because he's somebody that whether he's playing for club side or country, he always want to score goals. But I think the rest of the guys they're not really pulling their weight. It's easy to pinpoint the coach that since he's the one that did the selection, and is he the one that's going to teach them how to score? Osimhen had some chances that day. Indeed, he was one on one with the goalkeeper. Chukwueze was just giving the fans the ball, and so I mean, if you watch the game, overall performance, they outplayed Guinea-Bissau, but they just couldn't. They were not just composed enough to. It's like if they want to, everybody just want to score. When they get to the final third, everybody just want to. That simple pass was just not there. I remember Victor Osimhen, having an argument with Moses Simon. There was the ball that was supposed to lay for him, but he just decided to shoot aimlessly. So sometimes these players, I expect more from them. I mean, Super Eagles is not a place where you just come and feel okay because international break, you just come and while away time. I mean, we see other players from other countries when they done the national team, they always want to give their all. But in our own case, it's like our players, they feel they are doing us a favor. No, the Super Eagles, the platform. If you're a national team player, I mean, your CV, your value goes up because I mean it's not easy to play for the national team. So I expect more from them. And again, for me, I think some of the players in the Super Eagles, I think we have to start having a rethink. I think some of them are too comfortable in the team now. They feel
Mm.
whatever happens, they are going to be invited. And that's why maybe they come and they give 60% performance and they just go away like that. It's as if they've not learned the lesson from the
Mm-hmm.
defeat to Ghana during the World Cup qualifiers. That's the same thing that whatever they just turn up, give whatever performance and go. So that commitment like is really not there, and it's now left for the NFF to maybe come up with a code of conduct. Like you can't just come here and just give us anyhow performance and feel you get away with it. I think they just have to start demanding a lot from these guys. Until they start doing that, we'll continue to just be pushing the blame on the coach and feel the players they don't have the fault.
Okay.
They do. They share in it too.
Okay, so of course, NFF President Ibrahim Gusau, he wasn't happy, of course, as a lot of Nigerians, and he had told the players that henceforth is going to be wearing the green of the Super League is going to be performance based. Okay, of course, of course. Also, yesterday, Kenneth Omeru during the press before ahead of today's game, he said the players talked about the game, and of course, they are determined to win today. So let's see what happens. And of course, I think Jose Pesero still he has the compliment of almost all the players except for Kevin Akpoguma, who certainly will be out of that game. But Ghana, James, Chris Utin, of course, thank God that he recorded a win in his debut game in Angola. It was so close, almost when they say in the death, of course, that was what happened at the Babayara Stadium in Kumasi. And of course, the Black Stars did it for Christian Achu because, of course, that was what everybody said. But James, let's talk about the return leg in Rwanda today. It's not also going to be easy for the Black Stars because we saw that in that game, the Angolans showed that they can go for whenever they want. And they were purposeful in some of them, just that they couldn't create as many chances as the Black Stars did. And the Chris team will be missing 4 key players. The Ayu is out. Alexander Jiku is out. Mohamed Salisu is out. And James
Dennis
is going to... Yeah, Dennis Odo as well. Thank you. And I'm not sure if Tariq Lamptey is fine because initially it was said that he will miss the game, but Dennis Odo started in Kumasi. James, what are those 3 things that you noticed in that game in Kumasi that you think that Chris Hughton has to work on? Now, the Black Stars, if they win this game today, they would be picking one of the 2 tickets in the group E. Because of course CR and CAR, Central African Republic and Madagascar will have to fight for the last ticket because the 2 still have a fixture to play together. What do you think it needs to do so that at least the Black Stars can just put this qualification to rest at once?
Well, I think what they should try and do is the thing is they don't really need to win this game. I think a draw will also put them in a good position, but if the victory comes, well and good for them. So for me, it's they don't really need to go all out. The most important thing for them is to just try not to lose the game. A draw will also put them in a good position to go through. The first game, I wasn't surprised.
James, James, why are you demanding less of this team? This team is almost star-studded.
No, Femi. This is a new coach, and it's not as if they played a series of friendly games. Before
it's also not bad. Remember, Chris Hughton is not string to this team, so it will also be not be bad if he gets a win.
Yeah, in Rwanda. The most important. No, that's what I'm saying. That fine, they are good enough to get a victory in Rwanda, but I'm saying a draw is not a bad result. Also, but the most important thing is for them not to lose the game. The first leg, I wasn't surprised because you're playing against an Angolan team that has a coach already that have been together compared to a Hilton who served as an assistant. So now he's there with his own ideas, his own tactics and what have you. And the most important thing is he kickstarted his Black Stars coaching career with a victory. It was a hard-earned victory. The most important thing is they got the win. The 3 points, that's the most important thing. It's just now left for them to build from it. I don't think we're going to see the same performance. Maybe they played under pressure, and the Ghanaian fans, they can be very demanding. They're just like Nigerian fans. They don't accept anything less. So the good thing is they were able to win that game. So it's now left for Angola to now come out and win. Angola must win this game. So that's why I said the Black Stars, a draw is not a bad result. But who says they cannot win? And the 4 players are going to miss. I think you give the other players the opportunity. Sometimes you want to feel, this player is out, this player is out. It's a good opening for other players to come in and showcase themselves. Who believe that after the injury to Wallacott and the other guy who believed that Atizigi will put up a 5-star performance at the World Cup. So sometimes all these things it happens for a reason. It will be a blessing in disguise.
Okay.
Although I won't be there, you
Okay.
won't be there, Salisu too, but it's an opportunity for other players to step in and give the coach something to think about.
Okay, talking about Joe Wallacott and of course Lawrence Atizigi, there are reports that Christian Newton will be ringing his team, that is making changes, and of course there are reports also that Wallacott will be starting ahead of Atizigi. Do you think that is a wise decision, James, if that eventually happens in Luanda today?
I would be surprised because if Atizigi is not injured, why do you want to change the goalkeeper? Because the goalkeeping department is one very sensitive area where there must be a kind of a synergy between the defense and the goalkeeper. But if you keep changing and the defenders are not used to the goalkeeper and the goalkeeper too keep changing those in front of him, that understanding won't be there. With Atizigi's performance at the last World Cup, I think by now he should just be the undisputed number one. But I don't know what the coaching crew, what they observe in the first leg that if really they are thinking of bringing Wallacott into the fold. I was surprised, but well, they are the coaching crew. That's why they are being paid to observe things, to bring the best option for the team. So if they decide to go for Wallacott, fine and good. But the most important thing is victory for the team.
Okay, James, let me quickly take you on. There's going to be two questions in one. Quickly, for the sake of time now, we saw Suleiman in that game. He was substituted in the second half. Then we saw John Paintsil. He came in and he won that crucial free kick that led to that goal. Now, do you think Paintsil and Antoine Semenyo deserve to start in that game? We saw both of them. They came in, and whether we like it or not, they made the difference. Do you think they should start? And talking about Naki Williams, I think a lot of questions again coming in. Do you think the Black Stars still needs a top 9 apart from Naki Williams? Because I think that was the gap was obviously left there in that game against Angola, that if they had had maybe a top 9, perhaps things could have been different. Very quickly, James, for the sake of time.
Yeah, for Semenyo and Paintsil, sometimes these games, it's a good thing that they came off the bench to make the difference. Sometimes it's like when you throw these kind of players in the game and things don't go their way. I mean, you can dampen their morale. But the good thing is they came from the bench and they made the difference. So if Chris Hughton decides to say, okay, you want to start with them, fine, well and good, because they show that they have what it takes to perform, and they did that in the first leg. So that's now left for Chris Hughton and the coaching crew to decide. For Inaki Williams, we've said this thing before that Inaki Williams is not a natural number 9. So I don't think he's that player that's going to be banging in the goals. He's not at the level of Samoa Gyan, who can take any chance, even half chance he can take it. So Inaki is not that number 9. I think
is it about quality now, James? Is it about the quality of the player?
No, there's nothing wrong with his quality. I think he's not that number 9 that the Black Stars are looking for. He's not. He's somebody that can play maybe as a support striker or from the wing, because that's what he plays in Athletic Bilbao. He plays from the wing. He's not the number 9. So putting him as the top 9 and expecting him to start banging the goals like Samoa Gyan, I think it's asking too much on him. And I don't know, maybe he's still trying to adapt to the team. I don't think he has 10 caps already for the Black Stars. I
don't think so. After how many matches, James? I don't think you need to play 100 games before you show
that's
what you
I'm
can
saying.
do.
He's from what we've seen now, he's not that number 9 that Black Stars who they are looking for. He's not in the mode of Asamoah Gyan. So I think the most important thing is the Ghanaian league is there. They just have to keep looking for players who has what it takes to start to score the goals.
Okay.
Because I believe he can operate in other capacity, but that number 9, I don't think he's comfortable playing that position.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I saw an initiation video of the Sheriff Sport defender Patrick Pozo. He put on a very, very amazing dance steps, and I would want our Ghanaian fans to tell me particularly what the name of those dance moves are. Even a professional dancer wouldn't do it any better. It was a very, very funny side in his initiation video. It's a usual ritual that goes on in the national team. When a player is called up for the first time, they have to do that. Quickly, let's run through the fixtures on the continent today. Remember, it's going to be another busy day. So in Group A, of course, we'll be having Guinea-Bissau versus Nigeria. We have Etswani versus Cape Verde, Togo versus Burkina Faso. Yesterday, we had Sierra Leone versus Sao Tome and Principe. In other games, we have Namibia versus Cameroon. I think it's going to be another tough one for Guinea-Bissau because the first leg last week in Cameroon ended 1-1 at home. So this one, I think Guinea-Bissau will have to do everything he has to win this game. Though Cameroon are top of Group C on 4 points after 2 games. So it's going to be a very interesting one, and we'll be keenly focusing on that one. Ethiopia, Guinea, Malawi will be hosting Egypt, Central African Republic, Madagascar. That is going to be interesting in Group E for the Black Stars. They will be also watching on that one. Then, of course, we have Angola versus Ghana. We've talked about that. We have Tanzania versus Uganda. You have Niger Republic versus Algeria, Gambia versus Mali, South Sudan. They'll be taking on Congo. Comoros will be hosting Ivory Coast. Then Sudan and Gabon. Then Mauritania versus DR Congo. Botswana versus Equatorial Guinea. And then we have Libya versus Tunisia right there. Then Liberia versus South Africa. That's going to be another interesting one because last week, of course, South Africa, they have 2 points, just 2 points from 2 games. They lost to Morocco and drew against Liberia last week. That is also not good for South Africa. Remember, they missed out on the 2021 edition, and they also did not qualify for the 2022 FIFA World Cup. So you have all the facilities in South Africa. What is going on about talent? I think it's a big question that the authorities right there, the sports authorities right there, of course, they have to answer. Then we have Rwanda versus Benin Republic, and then Mozambique versus Senegal. Senegal, they defeated Mozambique 5-1 last week. So it's going to be sweet, delicious Mozambique for Senegal again, because we'll be expecting them to go all out and get all the and qualify. They have 9 points from 3 games already. So this is just going to seal their qualification to the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast. So Rwanda, Benin, it also ended 1-1 in Cotonou last week. So that's going to be the return leg. James Agberibi, finally, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming through on the show today.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. I'm looking forward to the next edition.
So before I forget our producer, we also appreciate you so much for all that you've been doing. And to you around the world, keeping faith with us, we say thank you very much. Thank you for your criticism, for your suggestions, and for always being there for Nigeria's fans. We appreciate you so much. So we wish the Super Eagles of Nigeria, if they do all they need to do, we wish them all the best today in Rwanda. And the Black Stars of Ghana in Angola, of course, we also wish them all the best in Rwanda. The Super Eagles will be playing in Bissau. The Black Stars will be playing in Rwanda. So we wish both teams all the best. We are rooting for the Black Stars to see the qualification to the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations today. This is Achalolo Afemi signing out today. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.